Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. Alright, so you've probably heard of, or even read, the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. But look, this isn't going to be your typical book summary. Think of this as an actionable blueprint, a real cheat sheet for putting his ideas to work. We're going to boil down all that wisdom into a clear system you can literally start using today to build not just wealth, but happiness too. Let's get into it. So let's start right here with this quote from Naval himself. This is the foundation for everything. The big idea is that wealth and happiness, they aren't luck. They're not some lottery you win. They are skills. And just like any other skill, you can learn them, you can practice them, and you can get really, really good at them. That's the promise. Okay, so what's the actual payoff? What's the goal if you follow this blueprint? It's a life where you have intentionally built both financial freedom and a real sense of inner peace. It's not about having to choose one over the other. The whole point is to create a system where both of them are the natural outcome of how you live and work. So here's our game plan. We've just touched on the big promise. Next, we're going to tear into the most important concept in the whole book, productize yourself. Then we'll lay out the operating system, the basic rules of a game. After that, we get super practical with a step-by-step plan, the daily habits you've got to lock in, and finally, the big mistakes you need to steer clear of. All right, let's dive into the absolute core of Naval's philosophy for creating wealth. This one single concept, productize yourself, is the engine that makes this entire system run. If you get this, you get everything. So what on earth does it mean to productize yourself? Well, it's about taking all the unique, weird things about you, your genuine interests, your specific skills, and then combining them with some serious force multipliers, like leverage and accountability. The real breakthrough here is to stop thinking about renting out your time for a paycheck and start thinking about how to build a scalable product. That's you. The first piece of the puzzle is yourself, and that really just boils down to one word: accountability. This means you got to be willing to put your own name on the line. Take risks publicly, because when you do that, you get real responsibility. You get to own a piece of the outcome through equity, and you build a brand around your own name. Next up is the productize part. This is where the magic really happens. It's all about leverage. Think of leverage as anything that disconnects what you put in from what you get out. The best kinds of leverage, by far, are things like code and media. Why? Because you don't need anyone's permission to use them. You can write a piece of software or create a video that works for you 24/7 while you sleep. And the final piece is yourself, again, but this time it stands for specific knowledge. Now, this isn't stuff you learn in a classroom. This is the highly unique skill set you build by just following what you're genuinely passionate about. It's that thing that feels like fun and games to you, but looks like hard work to everybody else, and that makes you irreplaceable. Okay, now that we have the big idea locked down, let's talk about the operating system. You can think of these as the fundamental laws of physics for this new game you're playing. They're the non-negotiables. Naval's operating system has a few core rules. First, play long-term games with long-term people. This is crucial because, as the next point says, all the real returns in life come from compound interest, in your money, your relationships, your skills. You can't get that if you keep starting over. Next, you need two skills: learn to sell, learn to build. If you master both, you are unstoppable. You can make the thing, and you can convince people they need it. To stay focused, you have to set an aspirational hourly rate for yourself. If you can pay someone less than that rate to do something, you should. It frees you up for the important stuff. And finally, never, ever forget, there are no get-rich-quick schemes. Anyone selling you one is just trying to get rich off you. All right, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. This is the heart of the whole blueprint. We're moving from ideas to action. This is the clear, step-by-step sequence to put these principles to work for you. The plan is actually a pretty simple 3-step loop that you just repeat. First, you find and build your specific knowledge. Second, you apply leverage to that knowledge. And third, you take on accountability so you can capture the rewards. Now, let's break down each one. So for step 1, finding your specific knowledge. This isn't a task with a deadline. It's a lifelong pursuit. You just constantly follow your genuine curiosity. So how do you know you're on the right track? The metric is simple. You found it when your work feels like play to you, but it looks like work to everybody else. That's the sweet spot. Moving on to step 2. Once you have that specific knowledge, you need to amplify it with leverage. The absolute best way to start is with what Naval calls permissionless leverage, things like code or media. Your goal here is to create products that cost you nothing to make another copy of. The ultimate measure of success? When your income is no longer tied to the number of hours you work. And now, the final step, taking accountability. This is how you actually get the rewards for your work. You have to take risks under your own name, and you have to seek equity. A salary puts a cap on what you can earn. Equity gives you a piece of an uncapped upside. You'll know you're succeeding when your name becomes its own brand and your money is tied to performance, not time. And this right here, this is the mindset you need for the whole journey. Be impatient with your actions. Build things, ship them, create something today. But be incredibly patient with the results. Compound interest is a magical force, but it takes time. You can't plant a seed today and expect a forest tomorrow. You know, a system is totally useless without the habits to sustain it. So this next part is all about the daily, non-negotiable practices that will hardwire these principles into your life, making them a part of who you are. Okay, here are 4 game-changing habits. A morning workout every single day. It gets your body and mind ready for battle. Reading for an hour. This is the master skill. This is how you feed your brain and build that specific knowledge. Now, meditating for 60 minutes. I know, that sounds insane for most of us, but the goal isn't the number. It's the practice of calming your mind. Start with 5 or 10 minutes, and finally get ruthless about eliminating the shoulds from your life. This is huge for happiness. Ask yourself in every decision, am I doing this because I truly want to, or because I feel like I'm supposed to? Okay, before we finish up, let's go over the common traps. Knowing what not to do is often just as important as knowing what to do. Think of this as your final checklist to make sure you stay on the path. This is such a critical distinction to make. You want to focus on wealth creation. That's a positive-sum game where you're making new things of value. Avoid status games at all costs. They are zero-sum, which means for you to win, someone else has to lose. It's a miserable way to live. Follow your own genuine curiosity. Don't just chase whatever the hot trend is. And please, play the long game. Finally, and this might be the most important one, accept that happiness is a skill you practice now, not some prize you get later when you achieve something. And we're going to end on this really powerful question from Naval. This entire blueprint we've walked through is a system for getting what you want out of life. But it all falls apart if you don't know what that is. The system works, but you have to point it in a direction that is truly, authentically yours. The hardest part isn't the work. It's gaining the clarity to know what you really want. So the question is, do you? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you do.